Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be looking at BTC. Let's get into the price action and see what's going on. Okay, so we're going to be discussing the shorter term moves that we were talking about yesterday, looking at the possibility as to whether this is still in a corrective pattern here or whether we are actually looking to break down directly. So what we're going to do is talk about the corrective pattern first, where we could actually look at this whole move as a W, X, and a Y, where we're treating this as a W from back here, this is an X, and then looking for this as a Y wave to the upside. So the one-to-one of this is still towards this 27,730, and what we were talking about yesterday was the potential that this move here could be an A. This was looking for a B wave and looking for this to actually play out in a C wave to the upside. Now it is possible that we are still within the C wave and we could actually still have one more leg to the upside. Now the one-to-one of the C wave, based on the fact that we didn't come down to this one-to-one yesterday, we did drop down here but not quite to this one-to-one level. So with that now in play, what we are looking for it as a one-to-one would actually be up here towards this 27,606. Though what we need to be cautious of is for as long as we actually fail to break back above this high here, which is sitting towards this 27,496, we need to be aware there is always that potential that this could be a wave 2 in the bearish count. Now if we want to talk about this move as looking to actually break to the upside, what I would be looking for, so this blue count is the same within these two counts, but what I'm looking for is the fact that we could have this as 1, 2, this is a 3, this is a 4th, and actually still looking for this 5th wave to the upside. So the 5th wave target that we could be looking for here would be this 27,422 to this 27,338. Now if we are looking to push up here one more time in a 5-wave move, what we'd be looking for is actually maintaining this 4th wave area here, which would be this 27,147 to this 26,994. We can see here that obviously even if we did come down to this 50% line, we wouldn't actually invalidate the possibility of this being a 5-wave move because the wave 1 high is still down here at this 26,848. Now what we need to be cautious of is because of the structure, we need to actually wait for the confirmation. If this 4th wave zone fails to hold, there could be something else going on here. So we need to keep an eye on this and actually wait for this 4th wave to complete and then seeing another 5-wave move to the upside. If this is the case and we actually fail to achieve this 27,508, this could actually mark the end point of this as a complete correction. If, however, we do have further extension here, and where I'm counting this as a single move, as a wave 1, we could have 1, 2, 1, 2, in which case we could have a 4th and a 5th, and then another 4th and a 5th, which could actually look to take us back above this 27,508. So we need to keep an eye on this zone here. If we do pass above it, then we'd be looking for a 4th wave to potentially come back into this previous zone here of this 27,152 area. Now this would be looking at this as an additional 4th and then possibly an additional 5th wave here to the upside towards this 2730 to this 27,593. If we do get a push to the upside like this, what this would be looking for is the potential that we could actually see a bigger 5-wave sequence off these lows. Now this would only get confirmed by actually breaking back above these highs here and actually getting a push up towards this 27,990. Once again, we don't have confirmation with these moves until we develop that 4th wave, because even if we do hit this 1.618, sometimes we can get a C wave, which will do this in a rare instance, but it will just won't develop the 4th and will actually continue to break. So if we did actually get a push up here towards this 27,990 and we develop this 4th wave, we could actually be seeing a push up higher here towards this 28,398 to this 28,147. Now we were talking about this zone as a potential swing failure off of this high, so going to be keeping an eye on that if we do actually look to push up here one more time. Now this will be looking at that possibility of a break to the upside. If we do complete a 5-wave move like this, we could then look for that possibility of a 3-wave retracement, finding support above this zone again, and then actually looking for continuation to the upside. If we just form this as A, B, and C as a corrective move, that would tie into the idea that either this move could be a bigger W, X, and a Y, in which case our target for the one-to-one is down here towards this 23,771, or alternatively, we could see this as a W, X, Y, X, and a Z, in which case our target would be lower down here towards this area here of this 24,971. Now, obviously, if we do actually complete this lower down here, what we could see is a move up towards this 0.618 of the previous wave X, which would be here at this 28,136. Now, if we did complete at that 0.618, our one-to-one would actually be slightly lower here towards this 24,000. 207. If however we do look to push up into the channel, what we could see is a move down towards this 1-to-1 of this 24,860. So we're going to have to monitor this and see how the waves develop, but there is this potential that we could see this actually rally here. Now, talking about this as looking to rally, what we were looking for within that count is actually looking for the possibility where this is a flat correction here, and what we were talking about is a possibility that this, because we didn't actually lose this low of this 25,811, could still potentially look to rally in a 5-wave move, though we would only get confirmation by actually a break up towards the zone of this 29,587. So this is why we've got to be careful here in the shorter term, because like I said, you know, I'm counting this as potentially a 1-2 and then looking for a third wave, but within the beginning of this move we could actually have 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and then next thing this starts to push up in a much more aggressive way. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that if we do look to push up here, whether we actually take this high or not. If we just get a additional push up here, we still do have this daily naked point of control here towards this 27,306. So I will be keeping an eye on that zone if we do look to continue to push up here a little bit more. Now the bearish scenario here, which we can't invalidate yet because we actually haven't broken this high here, is the fact that we could be looking for a break to the downside, where we're still looking at this as potentially a wave 1 and a 2. Now, the reason that I'm starting to dislike this count more is the fact we've actually come all the way up towards this 0.854, which is uncommon for a wave 2 for us to get this deep, though it can happen. So what I'll be looking out for here is the potential that if we do actually look to push up, and this move is rather W, X, A, B, and C for Y wave, what we could then see is a move up here towards this 1.236, which will be this 27,305. Now, if we do get a push up to here and we actually start to reject and start to lose these low points, this would start to invalidate the bullish count. If we start to lose this zone of this 26,552 and this 26,355, losing those two zones would make this less probable as well, it would invalidate the possibility of extension anyway. So we need to just be aware of that if we do start to lose those zones. However, should we remain below this high here of this 27,663, we need to be cautious of the potential of either forming this move as a B, and a C, and we target out this 1-to-1, which would be here towards this 25,676, or alternatively a bigger 5-wave move to the downside, looking to target out this 26,679. Now, breaking down in this way would be a little bit worrying, because we'd have to be cautious that we don't start to extend out here and start to get, you know, more impulsive structure from further back. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this as it develops. However, this could just be a 5th wave that's still playing out here to the downside. So what we'd be looking for typically with that count is actually looking for this target zone here of this 25,399. Now, some other targets that we have here is the 1-to-1 based off of the wave 1, was lower down here towards this 25,190, and then we also have this 0.618, which is sitting here towards this 24,931. So these could be quite interesting targets if we do look to push down here. Alternatively, if we do look to extend out in this 5th wave, potentially what we could see is a move down to this 1.618, which is here at this 23,767. Though typically speaking, if we're going to see an extension, it's in the 3rd wave, so we need to just bear that in mind, that it is not the most probable outcome here. So looking for this move to the downside, we have a couple of target box areas. If we do develop this white count, then I would be looking for lower down here in this 24,436 to this 24,051. If however we fall short and we form something like a diagonal here or something to that effect, because that's why we need to be careful of this 1-to-1. If we just get another 5-wave move, so A, B, and C, what we could then do is form some kind of a diagonal pattern to the downside here, looking for this lower target here, and then looking for that reversal on the channel line. So the channel line is currently sitting down here towards the zone of this 25,224 area. Okay, so some other things I want to discuss here is the speed fan that we're looking at here. What we can see here is that actually this blue line here is actually aligning with this daily naked point of control. So if we did see an additional push to the upside here, I would be interested to see how we react. we react off of this zone and actually start to lose these levels again, this would tie into that idea of a break to the downside. However, if we do continue to find support on these, what we could see is this move starting to climb up through these different levels, and then potentially even looking to target out the central line again here, which would be sitting towards this 28,466. So that would tie into that idea of actually coming up higher here and retesting this high. Now, what we were also talking about in the previous video was looking at the weekly and the monthly volume profiles, and what we're talking about here is the potential to actually face a rejection. So we've actually managed to push back up above this value area high that we have for this weekly range here. Now, if we do actually look to find support above this again, potentially we could see continuation to the upside. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. However, if we start to lose this and start to break down and lose this point of control, what we could then see is this move starting to roll over. Looking at this as a monthly, what we can see is we actually came back up here and we've reclaimed this point of control. Wouldn't surprise me to see a back test into this if we are going to look to push up, but we'll have to see exactly how that plays out. But because of this fact now, what we do have is this value area high is sitting up here towards the zone of this 28,136. I would be mindful that if we do get a push to the upside here, what we could see is an interaction with this level before either looking for some downside continuation or possibly just retracing back and then looking to continue up. So we do still have that bullish potential, but we need to see the price action play out. Now, looking at the CPR here, we can see that we have reclaimed this R1 line. So the fact that we've reclaimed this could indicate that we could start to see price action move up towards these central lines here, which is sitting towards this 29k region. So if we do see price action continuing to hold these different support levels, you know, possibly this is a horizontal support here, looking to actually push to the upside, and we do move up into this yellow target box area that we have here between this 29,142 to this 28,601, what we could then see is that potential to actually come back into these higher ranges. Now, what else I want to talk about here is on the weekly. We can see here that on the weekly time frame, obviously these will be only valid for today. What we'd be looking for is, you know, if we did actually come back and retest this high here, this would bring us back into this S1 line. So it would be an interesting zone to keep an eye on. This S1 line is sitting back up here towards this 27,489. Now this would tie into that idea of looking at this as a WX and a Y and potentially coming to set a triple top here before looking for that continuation to the downside. So these are just some other levels that I'm keeping an eye on as price is progressing to the upside. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.